if you were to extend this, that would be EG with the line above it.
Okay.
Is that all right? Clear?
Yeah.
All right. So parallel to GE means that, and let me just give you the answers here. Maybe that would help here. CL and RA segments, and then BK or KB. So it says all, which means you have to get all of them. There's no, there's no shortage there. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now there's a kind of there's a lot for just this first problem here, but for line segments to be parallel, for lines or line segments to be parallel, they have to be on the same plane, on the same plane. All right, name all segments parallel to BE. So BE is down here. Let's see if let's see, there's BE. So KG is correct, and that is the only one. Got it. All right, now it has to be with the single, without the arrows.
Okay.
All right, so name two pair of skew lines. What did you guys say in class about skew lines? Do you remember that?
They said that skew lines were um like kind of going upwards, I guess, but they weren't on the same um line, I guess.
Yeah, so the let me give you some skew lines. Let's RB is fine. RB is fine to start. That's this one here. Okay. So what it can't be, here's what it can't be. It can't be parallel. Okay, so here's something that is skew would be AL. So those never intersect, but they're also not on the same plane. So that's important about skew lines. Skew lines, they're not quite the same as parallel. They never intersect, but they can't be on the same plane. Same plane.
Okay. And those would be with arrows?
It does say lines this time.
Oh,
Segments is the no arrows. Lines are the arrows.
okay.
I don't make the rules. Don't get mad at me. These are just, you know, you got to just get them down,
Yeah.
and you will. You will. This is not, the most challenging thing ever. It's just something you've got. Um, this last one is correct, as is. Any follow-up questions to 1 through 4 before we move on to the next grouping?
Um, can you explain like planes, like what planes are?
Yeah. So a plane. Oh, grab my color here. Plane is, think of a sheet of paper that extends infinitely in each direction. That's a plane. And you could have, they're parallel if they never intersect. So that's why they typically draw a box. So like the front face and the rear face, the front and then the one in the back that you can't see, they're parallel because they never intersect. They're kind of like the room, whatever room you're in, they're the walls or the ceiling or the floor. So planes, when they do intersect, they intersect in a line typically. Like imagine, this is not drawn great, but imagine that intersects in kind of that line there. Oops. That's the intersection of them. It's hard to draw a plane in two-dimensional space because a plane is 3 dimensions and I only have a 2-dimensional space.
Okay.
Is that okay so far?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Now the next grouping of questions goes back to this whole idea of, are the lines intersecting? And I think that's the easiest to kind of decide. Like, do they hit? Now, sometimes they draw them where you can't see that they hit. And I'll go back to this first drawing up here. Actually, let me snip it in here. Uh, we should, well, I gotta be careful here. Is the goal to get through all of this tonight?
Um, no, just as much as we can in the time that we
Okay.
have.
Okay. So do you see how RC, if you were to extend RC and extend BE, they would hit?
Yeah.
Those are intersecting, even though they don't necessarily hit in the drawing. That if they continue, then they are intersecting. All right. So intersecting means, do they actually collide? Parallel means they have to be on the same plane. Okay. Think of that as the same like face, like a face or a wall.
Okay.
All right. And then skew means they're on different planes. Yeah, there's a line, and then here's a, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of, these are kind of hard to yeah, but then here's another line. They're not parallel, they're not on the same plane, but they don't intersect. Right. So hopefully that's enough information to run through the next grouping here. So why don't you try the first? I know you've already done 5. Let me look here. DG, I guess that's a G, and BH. Yes, those are parallel. All right, why don't you try 6? Tell me what you come up with for 6.
Would that be would that be parallel?
Do they, first thing is, do they intersect? Do AB and BC, do they intersect? And one of the easiest ways is to see if they share a letter, but like you're looking at AB and BC, do those intersect?
Yes.
You see them on screen. Like to me that they hit in the corner there at B.
Yeah. They hit in the corner and they share letter B.
They share a letter. That's a bigger one, but like they're I mean they're boom right there. Okay, how about so yeah, these are intersecting. All right, how about AC and GT? And I think it's, I mean, I've got the colored pencils. Um, that's gonna help here, but like first of all, are they intersecting? Do they, if you extend them forever in each direction, do they ever hit?
No.
No, absolutely not. So they're not intersecting. Are they on the same plane? So parallel means you could like grab a piece of paper and get them to both be on there. The whole line.
No.
Nope. So they're definitely not parallel. That means they are
Skew.
skew. All right, let's try the next one. TH and DG.
Would that one be skew?
Appears to also be skew. There's TH and DG. All right, so what I'm going to do here actually is grab the drawing one more time and then the last couple here so that we can use the colors, use some technology. All right, there we go. All right, so tell me about the next one there, AP and CK.
Um, Parallel.
They are parallel. Good. AC and CK.
Um, they're intersecting.
Yep, good. All right, and B, there's BH, CB.
Around 11.
Yes.
Um,
Is that okay?
yeah. Um, they are intersecting.
If they share a letter, you already know the answer. Okay, and then GK and BH.
Um, skew.
Cute. Okay. Before we go to the next grouping of questions, like any thoughts on these? I mean, anything you're
Uh,
unsure about?
no, it makes sense to me.
What does this symbol mean?
Parallel.
Yeah. All right. So next grouping is true or false. Does your teacher tend to give you true or false?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and do, I don't know, a couple of these. Let me know what you come up with.
Okay, I did 13 to 16.
Okay, tell me your answers and I'll give you the yes or no here.
So for 13, I put true.
Okay, keep going.
14, I put false.
Okay.
15, I wasn't really sure, but I said false. And then 16, I said true.
All right. So the best way for instructor to grade you on these is to say, if it's false, um, or like, what is it? Maybe you can actually give some more clarity to what it is. Okay. So CB is here on the kind of the house roof area. GH, those are parallel. That's roof. ED, ED is down here. HI is over here. That one is true, but what are they? They're not parallel. What would you call ED and HI?
Skew.
Do. Yeah, good. Plane AED, that's the wall over here. And plane FGH, that one's over there. They are parallel. They're like the side walls. So they're true. Um, like AED is this one over here, and then the back wall. Depends on where you think the front or the back is.
Okay.
Plane ABH, it's kind of this one on the back. CDF is over here. So this one's hard to see, but if you were to extend this wall up, extend this up, it would eventually hit up there. They would hit, which I know could be hard to see. So this one is false. They're not parallel. They end up intersecting. Okay. Why don't you try the next grouping here? I'm gonna re-snip in so that uh so it's a little easier to manage here. So let me grab. Yeah, so if you could try the next few. If it's false, I'd like you to say what it is, if you know. You have some answers for me?
Um, I have 17 and 19.
Okay, that's good enough. I just like to have you try some to put you out there, that uncomfortable zone. What did you say about 17?
I said it was true.
Okay. Um, so let's look. AB and HG are skew. I agree. And what did you say for 19?
19, I said was false and that it was parallel.
All right, so here is I gotta draw it here. So here's CF. This is like kind of a new one. Um, right there, down the diagonal, and then AI.
Um, I think yeah, because I didn't know like the how to connect the CF.
If it's not drawn, you draw it in. And I have the benefit of I can redraw it. I got colors. I mean, colored pencils are great in this type of class.
No, that one's true.
All right, so these are actually skew. And that's what that says. So if you said true, you are correct. All right, so now I'm going to label AE, AE, there's AE, and BC. Do those intersect?
No. Oh yeah.
It's hard to see, really is, but they do, they actually intersect. CF, CF, we just had that one, and AJ. So those are both the diagonals.
Those are parallel.
They're parallel. Good. All right, good job on that. Okay. So there's a lot of ways to draw some of these. So you're probably not going to get many questions like these on your test or quiz because these are hard to grade for your instructor. Um, they're also hard for students to figure out here. It says C and D intersect. Planes D and E intersect, but C and E do not intersect. Okay. Um, so if C, I don't want to say this, if C intersects D, that's fine, and D and E intersect, but C and E do not, what's the possibility for those? If they don't intersect, what else could they be?
Um, Parallel.
Parallel, yeah. So here's plane C, and here's plane E. Are they parallel?
Um,
Hard to tell. That's probably not fair. I'm trying my best. I'm not the best at drawing these, but what we can do here is cut through with another plane. Oh, wait, I didn't draw that right. I'm gonna have to move this underneath. All right, that. So now this comes down like that, and you can see that it hits there and it hits there, and then it. So there is plane D. So do you see how kind of like two sheets of paper on top of each other and another one kind of going through the middle of it?
yeah.
All right. There are other options. Try not to overcomplicate it when you're drawing. Um, there's an acronym that I really like, KISS, and it stands for Keep It Super Simple. It means don't complicate something that doesn't need to be complicated. And just go with, if you feel like what you're drawing is really complicated, you probably need to just reset and start over. All right, number 22. Tell me in your own words what this is right here.
Um, um, would that be line
These
eight?
these are three lines, and what do you know about the three lines?
That they're all parallel.
Yep. To keep it simple, there's a line, there's a line, there's a line. With the arrows on the end, they're all parallel. We'll label the points. Don't forget to label them. I've made that mistake before. F, G, J, B. Questions, thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. There's a lot of possibilities for 23. You want to try drawing something for this one?
Mm, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Okay.
So there's really like an infinite number of possibilities here. As long as you have two lines, one of them P, one of them Q, and they're labeled, and they only hit in one place, which is the only possibility, as long as they're not parallel. Anything like this will work. Anything. It could be slightly different, but
That's what I had.
okay, fantastic. All right, so 24 says planes A and B intersecting in line XY. So this is a little bit harder to draw, but think of walls. Think of like there's a wall. You're probably looking at a wall, or there's a wall behind you like that. All that A. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to call this X and Y. And there's a line. Think of that, along the bottom there is a Y. Can you visualize that?
Yeah.
Now, what is if that's a wall, what do we call this other thing in the room that I'm drawing?
Another plane.
Well, I call it the floor.
Oh,
Okay. And the floor is another plane, wall, floor. And if you look at where the wall and the floor come together, it's a line. In our world, it's a line segment because it's fixed, but it can go on forever. So this is like the simplest way to view this. Is that okay?
yeah, that's good.
All right. Why don't you try number 25 on your own? I'll snip it in here in a moment, and we'll see if there's a couple of possibilities for this one.
Okay.
Let me know when you've got something for 25.
I have some.
Okay. Okay, so there are two possibilities here. Did you draw yours to the right or to the left?
To the right.
Okay. So there is correct and incorrect. Okay. MT is correct. This one is not correct on the bottom here.
Okay.
Do you know why the one on the bottom is not correct or why the one on the top is correct?
No.
Okay. So it has to tell you which one is fixed. Fixed means it starts there. This is always the starting point. And that's what is the difference here. The first one starts at M and goes through P. The other one starts at P and goes through M. And so the difference is that the endpoint is the one that's fixed. I don't think that's a great answer, but we'll maybe see that in all right. Next grouping of questions. All right. Okay. Complete with sometimes, always, or never. Ugh, these are always the worst. Okay. Sometimes, always, or never. Do you know what the difference between sometimes, always, and never are?
Um.
Did you say no?
Uh. Yeah. Kind of.
Okay. So the big difference is that if it's always true, that's a proof or a definition. If it's never true, that means it's like a contradiction. Sometimes means you can find one case that's true and one case that's false. So the first one we actually just did. A, B, and BA are sometimes, always, never the same ray. Here's what AB is. It starts at A, it goes through B, but it goes to the right. Here is B, A. Are these the same?
No.
Well, they are. Like if you figure out the letters, they're the same. Okay. But
Mhm.
here's the other possibility. This could be B and this could be A. Now are they the same? The first and the third?
No.
So this is a sometimes. And I think these are really hard because you have to know all the possibilities, right? Like how do you even know all the possibilities? It's like, man, I don't know. Like I don't know how to tell you. These are hard. These are really, really difficult. Let's look at another one. So really, I'm just going to show you these because I mean, until you've seen them, it's like, how do you even know? Um, so here's A, we just did this. Here's B, here's A, here's C. Are these the same?
Uh,
Forget about the letters, just look at the what I've drawn.
yes.
They're the same. I agree. Now, is there a way to make them different?
Yeah.
There is. Like what if A starts over here and C goes there? Then they're different. So sometimes. Okay. 28's a little bit more, a little bit simpler. Could you try 28 on your own here? Meaning, could you maybe make a couple of sketches, see if you see something that helps you to decide whether they are the same or different?
Okay.
So what do you think? Are they the same or could they be different?
They're the same.
Yeah, this one I don't love because like you um it because the order doesn't matter. Like they are the same. This is always true. The only thing I'm kind of thinking of is like, what if you change the like size of it? But I don't think that was the intent of this one. So that's where um I would say we're probably okay on this. All right. What do you think about the next one, 29? What does your intuition tell you now that we've done a couple of these?
Um, that it's always.
Yes. Okay, very good. I talked about 30 at length. I said that for lines to be parallel, they have to be on the same plane. That's what coplanar means. That means the same plane. This isn't always true. What does that tell you about 31 then?
Um, never.
They're never, yeah, they're never on the same plane. They can't be. I mean, it's a definition. All right. All right, let's have you try a couple here. You may have to draw out a few things. Why don't you try the next few here? It's okay if you don't get them right or wrong, but only tell me if you're for sure. If you're not sure, just say nope. Let's work them out together. But let me know what you come up with for this next couple. Do you have any answers for me here?
Um, so would 32 be always?
It is, yeah. Opposite literally means they go, one goes in one direction, one goes in the other. That's a line. This
And
should say intersect.
um 33 accents sometimes.
All right, so for 33, what are the two possibilities if it's sometimes? Like what's possible for two of the lines? We know that they could be parallel, but what's the other one?
Perpendicular.
Or intersecting more generally. Good. Okay. All right. 34. Two planes that do not intersect are, and
Uh,
think of two sheets of paper. Like you hold up two sheets of paper, one on top of the other. They don't intersect. What does that mean?
always.
They're always parallel, yeah. Okay. Last one here. Two lines that lie in parallel planes are, it's
Um,
kind of this picture here, but there's a couple of possibilities.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, because they could be parallel, but they could also be not. So sometimes you should probably always start with like sometimes and like see if it's really hard to find a contradiction, you know, things like that. Okay. Uh, for the next grouping of questions here, there are multiple answers that are correct to potentially. Um, so like a line containing point A. I believe the intent though is that you're supposed to use these. So the answer here is AF with a line above it or FA. That would be okay as well. Like what I don't think you're supposed to, and this is where you might check with your teacher, like I don't think you're supposed to make up a line like AC. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but you might ask. All right. How about a ray passing through B? Could you give me some possibility of that?
Um,
And the order does matter.
would it be F B?
FB work? Yeah. All right. Does BF work?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Notice it just says passing through. It doesn't say start. It doesn't say stop. Yeah, it just says starts. Okay. All right. 2 points collinear with point D. That means they're on the same line as D. On the same line.
F and E.
Good. All right. And 2 points coplanar with B. Coplanar with B. That just means they have to be on the same plane. They don't have to be on the same line. They just have to be on the same plane.
Um, two, uh, D and F.
There's actually a bunch. All right. Now, when it says a plane containing points C, B, and E, you're not supposed to do this, even though you were doing that in a previous problem. You're supposed to use the letter R. So you would say plane R like that.
Oh,
All right, we got just a tiny bit of time left if you would like. Is there anything else you want to work on tonight?
no, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and stop right here.